Hello, I just had a brand new computer and I need to install sfdx Hardis on it. So what can I do? First, I will go check in the documentation and go to the contributor guide. And on the contributor guide, we see that we have prepare your computer section. So we'll just follow the instruction and I will start by installing Visual Studio Code. So to install Visual Studio Code, I just go on visualstudiocode.com, so the link on sfdx Hardis. And now it is downloading. I click on the downloaded VS Code setup file, and my VS Code launcher will appear. So classic next until the end. I can add the shortcuts for Windows and I click on install. Now I can launch Visual Studio Code. And I will come back to the sfdx Hardis documentation. And so I see it says install sfdx Hardis Visual Studio Code extension. So to do that, I will go to the extension menu in Visual Studio Code and look for Hardis. I click on install. And it is installed. So now I will click on the icon to launch it. And now I see different messages that tell me that some stuff is missing. So for example, I see that the Salesforce extension pack is missing. No, I will not start by the Visual Studio Code extension. I will start by download git bash. So I go to gitscm.com download and I download for Windows. I take the 64 version. I wait again for the download to proceed. And now I will click on the downloaded installer for Git. So again, a lot of next. I elect the default components. I let everything by default. And now it is installed. Okay, so now Git is installed, and as you can guess, I have cut this video to make it a little bit shorter, so the installation of Git can be a little bit long, but it's okay. And now my Git is installed. I will close Visual Studio Code and open it again. So I open again Visual Studio Code. I open again extension sfdx Hardis and I see, oh, I need new stuff. I need Node.js. So I will also follow the link and install Node.js. So you can take the LTS version, and depending when you watch this video, because it is the latest stable version. And again, it will download, and you can click on the installer and install Node.js on your computer by letting everything by default. You can, not everything, you can tick the automatically install the necessary tools. Can help for later. So Node.js is now successfully installed. But there is something happening after with press any key to continue for additional tools. So just press any key to continue. And it will also take a while to execute. Okay, so if like me, you see some messages in yellow with errors and that it doesn't move anymore, you can just close the window and hope that it will be okay. And meanwhile, you can go back to Visual Studio Code and you see there is another message telling you to install Salesforce extension pack. So you can click on it. And when you click on it, or even if you click in another time, it asks for your default terminal profile. So when you see this question, select your default terminal profile, you have to select git bash and nothing else, only git bash. So I'll just do it. And now it is selected. I can click on the refresh button on the dependencies and see that I see again the install Salesforce extension pack. And now it should install the VS Code extensions by Salesforce. As usual, you will wait a little until it is completed because the Salesforce extension pack, there is a lot of extensions for Salesforce. There is the core extension, there is for Apex, for debugger, for org content, LWC, so there is a lot of them, so it takes time to install those extensions. Okay, so now we see the extensions are installed. We will again restart Visual Studio Code. So we could do it without restarting, but it's easier. But basically, when you start Visual Studio Code and sfdx Hardis, it checks if there are missing dependencies, and if there are missing dependencies, it will give you messages to explain you what you have to install. So again, we will see sfdx Hardis extension, and it is computing now the dependencies to see if we are missing some, and I think there will be, but it is the last that we will have to install. So you have this message. Some plugins are not up to date. Please click to upgrade. So every time in the future when you will see this message, just click on it and it will automatically run the command lines that will upgrade Salesforce CLI or one of the different plugins that we use. So it can be sfdx Hardis, but it can also be sfdmu, it can be texe, it can be sfdx git delta. So like usual for the first install, there is a lot of packages to install, and again, it will take a little bit of time. Now, at the end of the script to install all plugins, you will see the dependencies panel that is currently refreshing, and if everything went fine, we will have just green ticks. So let's have a little patience. And now you can see everything is green, so you are all set to use sfdx Hardis. If you have any issue or any question, for further issue, You can try to just close VS Code and reopen it, because sfdx Hardis will detect if you have issues. So just open sfdx Hardis extension, and if there is installation stuff to do, it will tell you how with the little messages at the bottom right. And if you have, let's say, an issue, a real issue, and you have problems to solve, you can go in the Salesforce sfdx Hardis documentation, and if you click on the GitHub at the upper right part, it will bring you to the repository on GitHub, and you can ask any question you want in the issues. So new issue here, and your question, etc. And there will be a lot of people to help. Have a nice day, everyone.